And these stories, this morning, may help you in your struggle with trying to understand whether there is really something to all this. So we take serious ghost stories. We don't joke. These are hopefully true stories. And I guess that's what makes it all the more frightening, the fact that they are at least given to us as real ghost stories. So anyway, welcome to the weekend. Welcome to the Halloween program. And we'll get started shortly. A couple of beginners for you. I've got a note for you. CBS Television, this Sunday evening, no doubt when we're on the air with Cleveland, will be airing a special Without Warning program. It's kind of an H.G. Wells sort of thing with regard to the possibility of an asteroid hitting the Earth. I think it may be called Without Warning. It actually is in TV Guide, so I'm not giving away any secrets here. But you may want to run your VCR on that Sunday evening. And I believe it is called Without Warning, and it's going to be a realistic presentation with regard to the possibility of an asteroid hitting Earth or, being detected to shortly hit Earth. That'll be Sunday night, and I'm going to be rolling a tape on it, and I would suggest you do the same thing. Give that a roll of tape on us and watch that one way or the other. A couple of stories that I thought worthy of presentation. Simple stories, really. Mr. Bell, my dad and I have been doing a paper route for 3 years. We've been listening to your show for 2 now, and I feel this story might be good for your Halloween show. For a year and a half, we've been delivering newspapers to this house that has a large German Shepherd that is kept on the enclosed porch where I put things. The dog had always been friendly, always waiting for a pat on the head. Well, about a month ago, I didn't see the dog for a while. Didn't think very much about it until he was on the porch. There he was one morning about 2 weeks after the last time I'd seen him. He was laying down. When I entered, he raised his head, and I gave him several pats on the left. I didn't see him again after that. About a week later, we were collecting for the paper at that house. So I asked the owner where his dog was. He said the dog was very old, suffering from spinal problems. So he had to have him put to sleep. I done it 3.5 weeks ago. This instantly sent shivers up my spine. And now I get into and out of that porch as fast as I can. That's from Josh in Spokane, Washington. This comes from internet. Several years ago, I experienced a disturbing sight. I'm going to relate it as best I can. This gets all the dog stories out of the way. My wife, now ex, was lying in bed next to me. Light from the Circle K store next door was illuminating the room. I was laying there thinking about how good she looked in the yellow light when something black rose up out of her body. My first thought was, I thought I was awake. The blackness moved over me and formed itself into a black dog with glowing yellow eyes and dripping red, yes, the blood-glowed fangs. I screamed and held my arms over my head. My ex turned over and tried to comfort me. The neighbors pounded on the wall. The black dog took its time to dissipate. It seemed amused by my struggles while Brenda attempted to comfort me. The black dog has never reappeared, but I'll never forget it. Several sad events happened since that night. The most notable was the discovery that Brenda was cheating on me with an old high school flame. That's from Dark Man, Seattle. Art, this story is not much, but it happened, and I thought it was a little weird. When my wife and I were first married, about a year or so, we purchased a brand new home in Northridge, California. One night around 10 o'clock, my wife and I went to bed. I left the bathroom light on. Now my wife had on a violet-colored night clothing. She was sleeping on my left side. I was not dreaming. I was still awake, just thinking about things. Looked over at the bathroom door. It was open. I saw what I thought was my wife standing in the doorway of the bathroom, and I said, "What are you doing up?" My wife said, "No." The image at the bathroom door immediately vanished. My wife was still on the bed next to me. It wasn't a dream. The image I saw was so vivid and real, I actually thought it was real. As soon as my wife answered my question from her position on the bed, and the being in the doorway immediately disappeared, I told her what had happened. Now, any way you cut it, this was a strange event. I only conclude that there may have been something in the past that happened at that location before the house, in fact, was built there. The entire valley used to be nothing but horse ranches. Enjoy it. It's true. And then this. Art. I was an Eastern Orthodox priest for many years, and in that time I've witnessed many interesting, if not frightening things. This is one that I'd like to tell you about. In 1974, a close friend of mine lost her father. He'd been very popular during the 40s as a singer and guitar player on the radio. He and his wife had been divorced for many years at the time of his death. He lived alone and died of a heart attack while sleeping in his bed. It was 3 days before his body was discovered. About a week after the funeral, his ex-wife moved back into the house that he lived and died in. 2 months after his death, I received a phone call from my friend asking if I could come over to her mother's house. Apparently her mother was beginning to act a little strange. She was concerned. When I got there, the 3 of us sat down, and my friend's mother related this story to me. She said she was convinced she was going crazy. And she said about 2 weeks earlier, she woke up in the middle of the night to the singing of her dead ex-husband. She walked into the front room, and he was sitting in a rocking chair smiling at her. She went back into the bedroom and spent the rest of the night with no sleep. She then told me after that she'd be sitting in the front room and for no reason it would feel like someone was grabbing or pinching her legs, after which welts would appear on her legs. Also, she continued to hear her dead husband singing every night. I told her I didn't think she was going crazy, having had some working knowledge of the rite of exorcism. I asked her if she'd feel better if I went through the house and rested. She said it certainly would make her feel better. I took out a small bottle of holy water and proceeded to go through the house room by room, beginning with the basement. Everything went fine. I saved the bedroom for last. Upon entering the bedroom, there was a noticeable temperature difference. It was very cold. You could see your breath. The mother stood in the doorway, and as I threw the holy water around the room, the mother was thrown backwards out of the doorway into the hallway. When I asked her what was wrong, she said something had hit her in the legs, like something was trying to push her out of the way. I was a little skeptical until she pulled her pants legs up, and there they were, large red welts on both legs, just above the knee. I'm not trying to make any claims as to what was going on in that house, but I can say that after I blessed the house, there was no further problem with visions or physical manifestations. Bit of a primer for you, and a couple of stories sent in. I have many, many more that are variety by facts. If you have one and you'd like to fax it in, you're welcome to do so. My fax number is area code 702-727-8499. 702-727-8499. Now, this morning, that's all we're going to be doing is ghost stories. You're welcome to make a contribution. You're welcome to light a candle if you wish. You'll sit there and get scared, and believe me, before this night is through, we will succeed in doing that. Probably will succeed in scaring myself. I've got my candle ready. Just a brief warning. If these sorts of stories, and some of them are going to be realistic, and some of them are going to be frightening, if they scare you, by all means, tune out. I'm sure there's lots of shows this morning dispensing the usual. And many of you, I understand, would be far more comforted with the usual. So you'll want to tune out about now. Because coming up shortly, the unexpected, possibly the frightening. I don't really want to scare anybody who's not ready for it. I'll simply tell you, you'll hear stories that I think will convince you, if you continue to listen, that there is a life that comes after. And occasionally, things seem to interrupt the normal flow of the soul after death. Whether it's unrequited love, whether it's a murder, whether it's an unexpected, untimely death, occasionally things seem to interrupt the flow of what ought to come after this life. And those are the stories you will hear this morning. Or in just a very few moments. All right. Here are the telephone numbers. And remember this evening, nothing but ghost stories. If you have one for us, by all means, pick up the telephone. If you're a first-time caller to the program, the number is area code 702-727-1222. The wild card direct lines, area code 702-727-1295. 702-727-1295. And then finally, if you're east of the Great Rocky Mountains, the number is 1-800-618-8255. 1-800-618-8255. And now, ladies and gentlemen, on the wildcard line, you are on the air. Good evening.
Good evening, Art.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm just fine. Do you have a ghost story?
Yes, I do. My name is Arisha. I'm calling from Santa Maria.
Santa Maria, what is your story?
Well, when we purchased our house, we could not move in initially because one lady died. Her name was Nellie. And for about 3-4, we've been in this house over 20 years now, mind you. And she lived here with us. And my husband...
Well, now, what do you mean? She lived with you as a ghost?
Yes.
And now, how did you know she was there? Did you see her, hear her, feel her? How did you...
I felt her. And the room that she died in, which I am sitting in right now, was very, very cold always. Except that one day, my husband went down the hall, and he's not a believer, and she touched him, and he came back to me and he says, somebody touched me, and I said, it was Nellie. Don't get excited. And we used to get her mail at this house for about 3 years. And every time that the mail came to her, she would lay it on the table and I would say, Nellie, here's your mail. And it was for about 5 years she was in that house. And then she left. Now, I just don't know how to explain it to anyone.
Well, you don't have to, ma'am. Thank you very much for the call. She left. In other words, you stopped sensing the presence. No, I understand. You see, that really is typical. And usually the areas haunted, if you want to call it haunted, it really doesn't matter, does it? The areas that are affected by the presence of what seems to be left of that house are frequently the areas that person was killed in, died in. It's really hard to understand. Another aspect of it that I've never understood, one mentioned in a couple of the stories I read you and one she just told you, is the pooling of a room. I mean, just a downright chill, even to the degree that you can see your breath. It's not unusual to hear that. I don't understand exactly why it would be, but it does seem to trail with these stories. Wildcard Line, you are on the air. Good evening.
Good evening, I'm Andrea in Bedford, California.
Welcome to the program.
Okay, what happened was I was sleeping in this mobile home in a twin bed, and about 3 o'clock in the morning, I suddenly awakened, but my eyes were still closed, and I sensed kind of an energy down at my feet.
Down at your feet.
Yeah, down at my feet. It was really bizarre. I didn't move. My eyes were still closed. It was a kind of a positive feeling. I wasn't afraid of it. I felt this energy kind of moving, kind of up on the side of the bed, up towards my head. Well, when it got right up to my, just about to the bottom floor, I decided, well, I guess, the first thing I did, I thought for a minute, it was this, whatever it was warm and good. And the first thing I said was, Mom, is that you? And then I didn't get a response. And I opened my eyes, and there was this figure standing there, just looking at me, and it was pink and blue. Pinkish, this pinkish illumination and blue.
All right, so it was not a solid form.
Not quite, well, it was shaped like a human and it was a human, but it wasn't quite solid. And I said, darndest thing, I said, can I help you?
People say the darndest thing.
Well, I wasn't afraid of it. I was looking at it wondering, what is this?
Can I help you? Okay.
Can I help you? And then it vanished. Slowly dissipated.
Maybe it was shocked. Okay, maybe what you said at that moment just absolutely astounded it, even in spirit form, and it couldn't handle it.
But
Maybe it had been wandering the aisles of large discount stores now for months with nobody ever asking a question like that.
Oh my God, I remember calling my friend and he just didn't believe me.
Well, I feel. Thank you.
All right.
May I help you? All right, well, it is but the very beginning. And you're connected with the Halloween weekend. The annual event on Coast to Coast AM. I'm Art Bell. Was that Coast to Coast, or was that Ghosts to Ghosts? AM. Welcome, everybody. This is Halloween weekend, and we're telling ghost stories. If you have one, join us. If you don't have one, sit back, light a candle, turn the lights down, and prepare yourself. We're going to do a little commercial continuity here and get it done so we can go roaring through without interruption. And now, back to the lines. On the toll-free line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Mark. Anthony, Mr. Friday Night St. Louis.
Well, welcome to the program.
I got a ghost story for you. It's not very scary, but it's worth telling.
All right.
Anyway, I never really knew my grandfather personally, although Mom said I did love him. He died when I was 2 years old. That was 15 years ago. Just about almost a month now.
Right.
And there was a time period after he died, Mom told the story to me and a lot of other people where Mom was considered doing something, but just a couple months after he died, and he came back in full form, fully recognizable, just like he was in real life, just before he died. And he didn't say anything. He was just sitting there with a smile on his face, and the impression Mom got from apparition grandfather is that he was his message that he was all right. So
No, that makes sense. And I'm sure that the one thing that any spirit, thank you, anything or anybody who has left this earth would want to be able to tell or assure the people who are left, and that is that they're all right. That it is all right. That they're not gone forever. In fact, we're all not gone forever. What I do find interesting is that the apparition appeared in solid form. Not too many of them do. And the one, by the way, actually a couple that appear in our current newsletter are about to appear in the current newsletter. You've got to get hold of our newsletter, incidentally. Let me plug it while I'm at it. It's got the ghost photograph in it. And I may read you the letter that is connected to that ghost photograph. It is very good. A lot of people have had comments on it. The one taken by the Stone Mason. Thank goodness we managed to get it into the newsletter. And I hounded them to be able to do that. And so it is in there. If you'd like to order our newsletter called After Dark, the Art Bell newsletter, you can do so by picking up the telephone and calling right now or throughout the weekend, I might add, 1-800-917-4278. Now, this is for people with Visa and MasterCard and such. To get the newsletter, it's only $29.95 for a year. It's 1-800-917-4278. On the toll-free line, you're on the air. Good morning. Yes, it is. Turn the radio off once, please.
Okay. I have a story. A long time ago, when I was in my teens, I had a dream that I was walking down a road, and I looked to the left, and there was sheep, cattle, and horses grazing, and it was beautiful pasture. And I kept walking on a little further, and there was like a real beautiful old Civil War type looking house, you know, that type of an older house.
Sure.
And there was a lady outside pouring water into a bird bath, and she waved and smiled at me, and she was a very beautiful lady. And I waved and smiled and said hi back, and I kept walking down the road. There was a white picket fence. And as I walked down the road, the trees kind of made an arch. And as I walked through the arch of trees, not a perfect arch, but just kind of an arch, I woke up and I felt pure pleasure. I just felt great. And I got up, I smoked water and a cigarette, got a drink of water, went back to bed.
Right.
And I'm walking down, in this dream, the same night, I'm dreaming, I'm walking down this road, I'm feeling very uncomfortable. And all of a sudden, I notice, I look to the left, there's a same sloping pasture, and I noticed a sheep first in a long, tall, very unruly pasture. The sheep is laying there, you can see its body deteriorated, you can see the cattle and the horses dead. And as I walked to what was a pretty picket fence, it was just unmaintained and paint peeling off it. And the house was in shambles, and I saw a man chasing a woman with an axe that looks like an axe of a dime.
Yes.
And hit her in the head. And then she screams as he hit her. I didn't see her hit her, just saw her chasing her through an open window without a scream. And then she comes back, and you can see her just kind of walking almost zombie-like. And she had the same axe in her hand with blood coming out of her head. And this was the same woman I saw before when she was a little more aged. She'd be about 60 or so. And then you heard the guy scream, and you heard a thud, and I hurriedly walked down and started walking through these trees that were completely, at this time, they were kind of like barren, almost like fall, because of death, not fall. And I woke up, my heart was beating on my yard. I woke up 6 months later. My cousin and a friend of ours, we were driving along. We were outside St. Louis Airport. This is when it was very much undeveloped. And I felt a strange feeling. And I said, hey, pull into this driveway. The whole thing was a shambles. We pulled in, got out of the Jeep, and started walking up towards the so-called remnants of the house, where it was like half of a brick chimney down, and the roof was like down on the ground. We all started getting bad vibes. And as we walked closer up to it, we noticed that the place in front of where that window was, that I saw that actually hit it, there was like a like the thorn tree they used to crucify Jesus Christ, the thorns they put around his head. And you could almost feel something surrounding us. We never said a word to each other. We just looked at each other. We slowly started walking towards the Jeep. All of a sudden, we found ourselves in a very fast pace towards the Jeep. Next thing we knew, we were in the Jeep, and it didn't want to fire up. My cousin put it in a neutral. My buddy got out, kind of pushed it. We popped the clutch and fired up. We left the place ASAP. And so it was when we got up to the big boys. Of course, the big boys' hammer was on the floor.
Right.
We shut down the vehicle and it fired right back up. And we never did return to the place, but it seems like that was a very strange situation.
It was, and possibly, you know, what do you think your dream was then? Do you think that it was sort of a foretelling of what occurred there?
We've analyzed it over the years. I'll speak to my cousin and not bother myself. But my cousin is very, 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 very high up in AT&T, and he's a very intelligent man. We sat and talked about this. And one proposal we came up with years ago that had something to do with the one thing we could come up with, you know, that the dream has to meet everything happened. The only thing we could come up with that we can all agree on that maybe because of it, it was what's going on in America economically today.
Economically today?
Yes, isn't that strange and stuff like that? But, and I have one more thing real quick.
Well, our current economic situation is a little like minutes in the head, sir. We're very short on time, so it's very quick.
Okay, when my dad died, my mom started going into she just started deteriorating physically and weight and bags under the eyes, black eyes. And I was down at the place that I was working, a buddy of mine owned, and I was standing there, and all of a sudden I fell into his bed. And I said, Dad, don't take Mom, just go. She'll be with you later. The family needs her too much. And it was only about a couple days after that she started improving. That was a very strange thing as well.
Thank you very much for the call. We appreciate you. Well, it does bring up, though, another topic. And that has to do with the feeling of presence. Now, that much I can say I have had. There have been a few times during my life when I have felt distinctly a presence. And I don't recall that it particularly scared me, but I was absolutely aware of it. And I'm sure that it may have happened to a lot of people. Yes, I should say I'm sure. But I would bet that it's happened to me. And you can feel human beings, much like animals, I believe, have an instinctual sense about them, as you can sense somebody's actual physical presence. I believe that the sensitive among us can feel the presence of other things and beings. Does that make sense? It always has to be. And I don't think it's anything all that deep. I think it's just a purely instinctual thing that human beings have and have always had. Some are able to feel it now and use it now. Many are not, because of the noise of modern civilization. It tends to blot out these more obscure, but I believe real feelings. On the wildcard line, you are on the air. Good morning.
Let me turn on my radio.
Thank you. Yes, remember to do that, everybody who ever delays it.
Yes, have you ever heard about going into a mirror and like saying a word like ego or like bloody mirror? Or the Indian? Well, not that, but I've done it before.
Well, I have heard, sir, that people have had very strange experiences with mirrors. What is yours?
Well, I did it like around 12 o'clock. I think it was about when I was in 7th grade.
Sorry. You in 7th grade, you looked into a mirror, did what?
Well, I turned off all the lights. That's what I was supposed to do, and I locked the door. It was late at night, so everything was quiet now, so that's how it has to be. And I went and I turned in a circle once, and I stared at the mirror, Bloody Mary, and I closed my eyes, turned around and circle again, Bloody Mary. I saw this like face that was like blood on one half of the side, and like something hit me in the head, and I think it was a toothbrush hit me in the head. I saw it laying on the ground, and I didn't see it before. And I've had other friends who said that they had scratches from doing that. And I've had a friend in the 7th grade who I was a really good friend with named.
No, don't give me the person's name.
And she's related to Lenny Baker, the Green Scott.
All right, sir, thank you. I have heard about this before. Maybe some of the rest of you know something about it. But there is something about mirrors. And I believe there is something about, in effect, inviting something to appear. And it may not matter the words that you use, but if you, in effect, put yourself in a mood of being receptive to this sort of thing, and then you exercise some sort of ritual, in this case, the use of a mirror, you may, in fact, be inviting something in that you may be sorry you invited in, just a word of advice. On the wildcard line, you're on the air.
Okay, this is Karina.
Hi.
This happened when I was about 7 years old. My dad had already been married about a year. His wife started dabbling into the occult, but I didn't know what the occult was. So, we were going to church, and of course, my brother, he went up to the altar and committed himself to Jesus Christ. And I didn't, because I didn't understand it. But once I decided to do this, I had said my prayers, and I told the Lord that Sunday morning I'm going to commit myself to you. And, that happened on a Friday. And so I was really excited about going to church because I was going to do this thing. And I went to bed. And later on that night, I have no idea what time it was, my door was open, but it was always open. My parents' door is closed because they don't want, the storm to wake us up here. And I woke up, and there was a bull standing at the front of my door. It was a demon, and it was in the shape of a bull. It was about 4.5 feet tall. And I looked at it, and I just said, God, I don't know what it is, and help me go to sleep. And if I don't move, then maybe it will hurt me. Well, then I had this really strange dream, and it was very unrelated to what was in front of me. So I dreamt this certain dream, and when I woke up, that bull was still standing there, had horns and everything. And I thought, no, it's not going away. I was thinking this, and all of a sudden it disappeared, and it had attacked me. I was struggling in bed, I was trying to scream, and the first thing you do is you're screaming and nothing comes out of you. I couldn't breathe, I felt like I was being smothered.
I understand that feeling. You are screaming internally, but nothing will come out.
And I was thinking, what am I to do? What am I to do? I'm going to die, it's going to kill me. And sure enough, I said, okay, God, you're going to have to take it away, because I can't do anything. I'm going to die, and I don't want to die. And so it let go, it dissipated, it never showed up again. When that thing let go, it ran into the room, and it left. I just screamed, totally bloody murder, and my dad was running in there to see what's going on. And I was telling them, there was a monster, and it was trying to kill me. And nobody really believed it, but it really actually happened.
Maybe ahead of your commitment on Sunday, it was one last shot, so to speak, of the dark force trying to get hold of you.
I believe that. And one other thing about my mom and the power of God, what I have to deal with is
that very quickly she had a 4-foot mod coaster. This was back in the 70, 71, 72 mod back.
Okay, very quickly.
And it was a picture of the devil. And I wouldn't go into her room, so I asked God to take away that poster. And within 3 weeks, it had torn itself apart.
Thank you. You know, if there is good in this world, if there is God, if there is a presence, a creative presence, then it would certainly make sense that there would be an opposite force. As it can be documented for just about everything else in our life that we do, we experience, there are two sides. There's good and evil. There's good and evil, for example, in atomic energy. There's good and evil in just about every force that we do control on Earth. So, with the assumption of a creator, a God, a good, I think it's not too much of a leap to understand there is an opposite force when we talk about this one. On the wild card line, you're on the air.
Yeah, you're true about that. But they balance each other out.
I believe so.
But you can't have too much of either. So I'd like to talk about what happened to me when I was 15.
Okay, go ahead.
We were staying at a friend's house. Me and my mom were staying at a friend's house.
Yes.
For a little while. We were trying to, places.
Yes, where are you, by the way?
I'm in Long Beach.
Long Beach.
Okay, and see, certain times of the year, this is part of the neighborhood of Broadway and Long Beach and everything.
Yes.
It's like a vortex.
A vortex.
Yeah, it's like a vortex. You know, certain things coming through. You know, basically it's like a main doorway, you know, main hallway. You find different things. Like one time, my mother, you know, like seemed like a little man crawling on her arm. She woke up.
On her arm?
Yeah, on her arm. All silver. It looked like deep footprints. She woke up and see these little footprints on her arm.
Really?
And I looked at her and said, yeah, they're footprints. But yeah, figured she was joking. Went back to sleep. And I asked if you think you probably weighed around 40 pounds. Such deep footprints.
On her arm. It actually left footprints on her arm.
Yeah, left footprints on her arm.
Wow. All right, thank you very much for the call. Now, what was that? What would do that? Well, there are those who would suggest this woman was dreaming. She was asleep, and she had such a vivid dream that the power of her mind actually caused those, that physical evidence that he just talked about, footprints actually on her arm. But sometimes it's a little difficult to separate the real occurrence from the one in our mind. Maybe there is not a difference. Maybe that which does occur in our mind is in fact real. Does that occur to you? The distinction between that which we dream and that which we experience while awake, it's really, when you examine it, a very, very small distinction. This is the Halloween Weekend Show from Ghost to Ghost AM. Good morning. Welcome to Ghost AM. It is the annual Halloween show, and we are telling ghost stories. It is Halloween weekend. Indeed, it is the weekend, so settle in, light a candle, dim the lights, if you dare. Art, this story is supposed to be a true one. Dick and Clyde have been friends since August of 1918. Nearly 15 years. During their friendship, they have done some pretty remarkable things. However, none can compare with the prank they pulled on their girlfriends, Betty Lou and Mildred, on October 31st, 1933. October 24th, 1933, Betty Lou and Mildred were excited about the barn dance and hayride they were about to go on. The girls just couldn't conjure up a prank to on Clyde and Dick. With the bedroom, the boys hanging a dressmaker's doll on Window Johnson's old dead tree in her front yard. Whatever that prank would be, it would have to be very good. During lunch, the boys propositioned them with a dare. The agreement was for the girls each to drive a stake into a grave at midnight on Halloween night, and the boys would pay them $10. The girls agreed, thinking they could come back with some gruesome horror stories to scare the boys out of their wits. October 31st, 1933, 8 o'clock. The foursome was having a great time at the dance. The boys kept asking the girls if they're sure they wanted to go through with the agreement. The girls were positive. During the hayride, the group leader was telling a story about a jealous husband outraged with regard to his wife after finding her with a lover. During his panic, he murdered her, chopped her into small parts, and tried to dispose of her body. All the remains found were her two arms, now buried in Grace Lawn Cemetery. Grace Lawn Cemetery, the graveyard the girls were about to be at this very night. Mildred was in a frenzy. How was she going to handle this? Why did she let them talk her into it? Mildred came back to her senses. The hayride comes to an end. She could hear Betty Lou and the boys planning out the evening. They all were to meet at the general store at 1 a.m. after the graveyard incident. The time finally came. Mildred and Betty Lou found themselves at the graveyard. Betty Lou was found her stake in grave number 12, and Mildred into number 56. They decided to meet at the back of the store. Betty Lou pounded her stake as directed and gave a signaling whistle to Mildred. Betty Lou was finished. She headed back. Mildred pounded her stake and got up to leave. Something was tugging at her skirt. She screamed for help and nobody came. She tried harder to get away, but it was useless. At 1 a.m., Betty Lou and the boys were worried about Mildred. Why hadn't she shown up? Had she been hurt? They decided to go back to the graveyard, but it was the dead of night and too dark to see a thing. They came to the conclusion that she was tired of her home. November 1st, 1933, the Jonesboro Morning Bee read, girl found dead in Grace Lawn Cemetery with stake through her dress. That's from Ron. Yeah. On the toll-free line, you're on the air. I make that the wildcard line. Hello? No, you're not. On the first-time caller line, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hello?
Hello. Hi.
I'm calling from Santa Rosa.
Santa Rosa. KSRO. Great.
I will tell you a truth that I know, as sure as I know my name, that ghosts, poltergeists, past life visions, all one thing. They're all agents of Satan. In 1989, on Thanksgiving Day, my mother-in-law died. I hadn't spoken to her for 3 years because I had the confounded nerve of questioning her about Grandpa just driving with my son in the car. She spoke to me again. And the next day, my husband arrived home, and he'd been with her at the moment of her death, and she'd thrown back the blankets, he was to leave, and she was inside with morphine. And he and I stood outside on the sidewalk and watched the clouds about 60 feet long and 40 feet wide, just about the height of the telephone pole. It was brown, dirty mist. We watched it dissipate in front of our eyes, and I made a joke, and I said, maybe that's your mother's spirit. And about a week later, his father reported that some things were turned around on the mantelpiece, and the spot on the windowsill where she placed the glass refused to dry. And we thought, well, he drinks a lot, you know, he can't be true. And about a week after that, my husband was at his office, and her music box in the corner of the room went on all by itself. And I called him up and he was freaking out. And he sort of he kind of abandoned the family, and that he was up there every weekend sitting at the foot of her bed on the floor writing poetry about her. It was sort of an emotionally incestuous relationship. Well, he began to change a lot. And what was going on was he was seeing another woman who later turned out to be the image of his older woman. And he literally turned into her And he would come to the door one day screaming at me to quit using his last name. We've been together 17 years. And the next day he would forget that he did and said that and be very charming.
Why not? How did you get through this?
That's still going on. My son, he's putting my son away. And my son became addicted to drugs, showed up on my doorstep last October, all into pastor. And saying to me, Satan rules. And brought with him blood lice, body lice, chicken lice, and mites. And a year has gone by. I spent $3,000 and still fighting since my son has come and gone. Before he left, he said to me, Master has plans for your life. The next day, my brakes would have been drained. Just weird things just keep happening in this house. An odd smell in his room of rotten oranges. I had 200 people to bathe just for brief periods of time, and it dead smells coming from underneath. I'm still battling with this.
Adam's family values. Oh, man. All right. I appreciate your story, and I wish you well, ma'am. I don't know what to tell you, but I think, faced with a similar circumstance, I would give even my son, under those conditions, the old E-bubble, and I would try and free myself of that, because I believe you're in a dangerous situation. On the toll-free line, you're on the air. Good morning.
1 second, let me get the radio.
Yes, thank you. Turn them off the moment you get on the air, please. This is actually close to Thursday.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine, sir. Do you have a story for us?
Yeah, this is Dale from Portland, KDA.
Yes, Dale.
Yeah, I'm originally from West Virginia, and I had my grandfather tell me a story a long time ago about his grandfather told me the story of, I'll give her okay, but they bought some plantation down in Logan County, West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And it had a good field, and then he found out this little story told me about my grandfather. And my great-grandfather tried to tell him, but I never knew that when it was real rocky, and when they later looked, it was like makeshift little grave markers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, my grandpa told me that one night my grandfather was awakened by chains rattling and screams and stuff like that, right? And we at least have these in our, death and stuff.
Yes.
And my grandfather told him, he said, well, he's probably just having a drink. And he said, yeah, he could have been having a drink, but, all the grandchildren heard it too. So I was kind of like freaked out by that story, so.
I can imagine. Did he ever continue to try to plow that land?
So they discontinued plowing that land.
I can imagine.
Well,
I can imagine I would have been. Thank you very much for the call. I wonder why spirits, or those who are in the way, are in any way at all attached to or concerned with their prior physical bodies. Or maybe it would be true that a spirit would be still attached to thinking about their physical body. I don't know. I mean, who knows about these things? But so many of the stories seem to concern the bodies that are now buried below the earth. On the Wildcard line, you're on the air. Good morning. Yes, sir.
I'm sort of skeptical mind about these things, and I don't believe in anything supernatural. And just the other day, I was sitting down with my sister, and we were just talking about something, and we had one of her children, my nephew Jesse, was talking about things that things that are scaring us and whatever, which is ghosts. And I naturally, I spoke up and I said, well, there's no such thing as ghosts. And then my sister spoke up, and we're pretty close. And she said, in all seriousness, she said, well, the ghosts are the one thing I do believe in. And she never told me this story before because she wanted to laugh at. She would see these figures in this place that you go in.
Yes.
And one specific is in her
one of her children's bedrooms. Her other son, Casey, is 7 years old. And she was seeing this figure in there. And the first couple of times she thought it was Casey. And she was in there and she saw this small child dressed in sort of a strange hat and suspenders and sitting on the floor playing. And she went into the doorway and said, Casey? And then Casey would say, what, Mommy? Or whatever. He'd be like in the kitchen or the living room down the hallway, in the other side of the house. And she turned around and said, Casey. And then she would look back and the figure would be gone. And she's also seen one other figure in the hallway. She has her bedroom right off the hall. And she leaves the door open most of the time. And she was thinking, like when she was leaving something better, whatever. She was just like out of the corner of her eye, this man with a dark beard. And then she picked up and threw up her the pit.
Do you have any idea what these entities are?
I have no idea. And absolutely no idea. She had never told the story before. And, it was just something that's kind of spooky because, I just something I don't believe in. And, but the fact that she was telling me with such sincerity and conviction that this could actually take a place.
What do you fancy, sir, happens to us after we die?
Well, my normal belief is that, I'm sort of based on a rational, the brain ties.
So in other words, you've always thought lights out, that's it, show is over.
Well, yeah, in all probability. That would be my general conviction.
All right, sir, thank you very much for the call. That's it, lights out, show's over. That's all there is. It seems to me less likely than the alternative, that there is some sort of survival following physical death, and I do believe there is. And I do believe the story you told and others you will hear this morning. On the Wildcard Line, you're on the air.
Morning, Art.
Hi.
Dave from Portland, Oregon, KDS Country.
Wonderful, Dave. Glad to have you.
Have I got a ghost story for you?
All right.
I rented a place several years ago at an old store called Liberal Store just north of Malala. Huge, 3-bedroom, what they call a top store upstairs apartment above the store.
Right.
My wife and my mother and I moved into the place. I loved the place. There was a room in this place that no matter, it was about 110 out that summer, mostly summer, beautiful swimming weather. There was a room I used to go into and play handball against the wall because it was a huge bedroom we had the lease for.
I
I
understand.
never sweated, I never got hot, I never had any trouble in this place. I worked graveyard.
Right.
I slept perfectly in this apartment, even in the today. My mother began having episodes swinging chandeliers. Fingerprints left on her arm. She something touching her. She'd scream, "Oh my God, something's touching me!" And you could smell lilac perfume vividly. My wife and I, and her little sister and her little brother, were sitting eating hamburgers one night, watching TV. They had done the dishes after dinner was made, before we ate, and then they crashed. Went in there, and all the dishes were speaking in the sink. My wife's stepbrother has a beautiful Alaskan Husky dog, a large dog. He said, "Well, I think you're crazy. I don't believe in it." He said, "I'll bring my dog over. Dogs are supposed to know about these things and what they say." I said, "You bring him on over." His name is Butch. Brought Butch over. Butch came in, looked around for a few minutes, and let him go. He was moving around. Pretty soon we heard him whimpering in the bathroom. That was a 65-pound Alaskan Husky. He would not come out of the bathroom. When we finally forced him to come out of the bathroom, he walked around an invisible pylon in the doorway. And he would not go back, and he ran out the door. 3 nights later, I come home from work off the graveyard. I come home early because I worked like a half shift. My mother and my wife were sitting in the tailgate of my pickup. I drove my mother's car that night because my truck wasn't running right. And my wife says, "I want to move." She says, "I want to move tonight." And I said, "What's wrong?" She says, "You know we've been having these problems." I said, "I didn't have a problem." She said, "Let me show you something." Went upstairs, and all of our Bibles were on the floor, and they were all open to the area of the Bible where it talks about King David quite often. And
Look, for one thing, let me stop you. I agree with your wife. I'd be gone.
well, we did move immediately, actually, that next week. My mother believes it was my grandmother who was upset with her because I was out of the state when she died. One more thing that did happen was a chandelier was spinning at any given time in the dining room. my cat one time flew backwards out of this room that I liked, and the cat wouldn't come back in our apartment. My wife one night called me work and said somebody's beating on the upstairs door. Well, this was 2.5 floors off the ground. Somebody was knocking on the window. We moved the next day.
I don't blame you.
And that was the truth. And my mother and my wife are to this day, because by that store, when you drive out the old highway there,
Right.
they won't stop and go to that store.
And that ended it.
For us, it ended it. Now, I've heard stories by our friends of Malone and family. I've heard stories of several families that moved in and moved right back out. And we don't know if the place is very, very old. Hundreds of years old. This building's probably been since the early 1900s or more. And it's a store at the bottom and an apartment at the top. And like I said, it's 2.5, almost 3 stories tall. And my wife claims, I wasn't there the night the windows were being knocked out, but her little sister, who's very skeptical, doesn't believe in any of this, didn't until then, told me, she said, I was pure white was shaky. Pure white, I couldn't stand to stay there because somebody was knocking on all the windows and was knocking on the upstairs door. We had 2 doors. A downstairs door that led to the outside. You came up a long stair corridor.
And you really did it. You really moved.
Yes, we did.
Do you swear to us this is a true story?
Honest to God, I swear to you, my wife was in bed listening on the radio and hearing me tell the story. She's the one that wanted me to call. My mother's standing here looking at me with a funny look on her face. It's an honest to true story. I've had friends come to my house. We're going to brother came and spent the night.
Prove it to me. Get your wife.
Okay?
All right, I'll tell you what. Now hold on. Now, I'm coming up to a break here, all right?
Okay.
And so what I'm going to do is break. You won't hear anything on the line during the time that we're gone, but don't worry. We'll come back to you right after the break. How's
Okay,
that?
we'll be waiting.
All right, good. Stand by. Stay right there. And this is perhaps yet the best example of what I was telling you about. If this kind of thing scares you unreasonably, then my suggestion is to tune out, because it sounds like it's well underway. This is Coast to Coast AM. This is Coast to Coast AM with our friends on the CBC Radio Network. Good morning. Welcome back. This is the best talk radio in the nighttime, the largest, fastest growing nighttime talk radio program, and this morning we're talking about ghosts. If you have a story, you'd like to hear it. If not, sit back, dim the lights, and prepare yourself. Now, if we are lucky, back to the telephone now, and the continuation of the story we were hearing, or the confirmation of it. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm back.
You're back. Okay.
And my wife is sitting here, we were discussing this, and she says, what I was expecting until this happened, I didn't believe in poltergeist. Now she's here to tell you about it.
All right. Put it
Here she is.
All right.
Hello.
Hi there.
I swear the story is true. I swear.
It is true.
Yep, I never ever believed in anything like this before. It is so bizarre.
And you are the one who said, that's it, folks, we're out of here.
Yep, I refuse to go back. We couldn't stay with relatives until we could move. I refuse to spend another night there.
Wow.
I wouldn't go back.
Well, I must say, I am with you, and I would have been the person first saying, we're out of here.
Yeah, well, it happened for like 2 weeks before any of us ever mentioned it to each other. We'd all been having like little episodes separately. And then me and my mother-in-law were sitting there one night, and I said, what's going on? And this cabinet door was opening and closing in the kitchen. And that's when we discussed with each other, we think we're living here to go.
Well, I can imagine that would occur, that everybody would have little things that would occur, and you kind of dismiss them, or...
Well, yeah, because you don't want to believe it.
You don't want to
believe it.
That's right, but then you start putting it all together, and you...
And it is. Too much started happening.
Look, I appreciate your confirmation. It's really kind of you to come on the phone, and thank you both. Thank your husband for it.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. There you are, folks. That's me. I think I would have left. On one hand, I would like to have the experience. I would like to experience something that I would definitely call an apparition, something that would confirm for me the afterlife. But on the other hand, it would scare the pants off me, and I think I'd be out as quickly as possible. On the first time caller line, good morning, you are on the air.
Yeah, Martin come from Overland Park, Kansas.
Overland Park, Kansas, on a portable telephone.
Yeah, I've heard about that. So really good story. This happened to me. I'm 22 years old now. I was between 14 and 16 years old. True story. I was at my parents' house, which we had built. Nobody lived there before. And my parents had gone on a walk for the evening with my brothers and sisters, and I was sitting at home, and I remember it really was the first thing I said, I'm watching TV, and then I got a feeling of disorientation around me. Really strange. And there was plants hanging above the television set. And I looked up, and the thing that distracted me, and it was like if you would see it's almost invisible fake shape going through the plant. Okay,
An invisible shape going through the plants?
Yeah, and it's the only way I can explain it is
You mean as though you could see the plants moving aside for something that was moving in them?
It was as if inside the little shape that was moving, it was like a swirled clear color. You could tell something was there moving really fast and it was just gone.
I understand.
And I just got a really odd feeling, different things around me, and I kind of, I'm looking around, turning around, looking around, have this odd feeling. And I turn back and look behind me down the hall, and down the hall, there's a figure standing there. There's plenty day, nothing you could see through, solid, and it was not facing me. It was facing a different direction, kind of different hall. And I'm getting super upset with just talking about this, but this figure was sitting about 6'5", 7 feet tall. I couldn't tell, it didn't look like anything was touching the ground. And it was a white figure. It had the head of the figure was like almost like a knight in armored helmet.
Ooh, that's weird.
But it was completely white. And it's all this shiny white. And the helmet came down around, kind of around his chest. And with a white robe hanging down off of the helmet. And it went down almost to the floor. I don't know if that's before. It was just almost like a white robe with this helmet and facing this direction. And as I stared at it and just could not move, it slowly turned towards me. Just pivoting, no leg movement or anything, just moving towards me. It's not moving quickly, but just turning towards me. And as it faced me, I was just so scared. I closed my eyes, and it was gone. And
I'm curious, at that moment, you closed your eyes and opened them and it was gone. A lot of people would say to themselves, that means I was imagining.
yeah, well, nothing like that has ever happened to me before. No traumas in my life to do anything like that. And when it turned me, it told me a matter of 5 or 7 seconds as it turned. I was watching it turn towards me. And it turned towards me and it was gone, and I just sat there, curled right next to the TV until my parents when it was just gotten dark. I sat there for 20 minutes or so, just not moving, just shaking.
I do understand, sir. When this occurred, did you have a feeling of evil or fright, or how would you describe your emotions?
It was no evil. My emotions were just, I don't know what was happening, and there's just a feeling around me, of just a tingling feeling, like what is going on. Nothing's ever happened to me, like that in the past before, and it seems like never before. I've never heard a story like that before.
Well, a young lady called earlier and said too scared to scream, to actually make noise.
I can understand that. It's just a feeling of awe. It's just, you don't think about it when it's happening at all. You don't think about it until it's over with, and then it's just frightening.
I appreciate your story, thank you. It was a Sunday night. I worked the graveyard shift and got done getting ready for work a little early. Since I had about a half hour to kill, I sat down and put on the headphones and listened to the stereo. As I relaxed, I got that eerie feeling that someone was watching me. Couldn't resist the feeling. So I turned around and saw someone run down the hall. I knew my roommate was out for the night, but thought, well, maybe he'd come home and was playing a trick on me. Went down the hall, turned on all the lights, called out to him, no response. Okay, my mind is playing tricks on me. So I sat down and put the headphones back on. I started getting that strange feeling again that someone was watching me. This time I turned around quickly and again saw someone run back down the hall. At this point I was getting scared. I ran out of the apartment, went to work. Later called my roommate, told him what happened. He told me I was trapped. The next day seemed fairly normal. I went to bed around about 7 that night. I was awakened by the sound of a girl crying. It was dark in my room, but I could see the living room lights from under the door. I thought to myself, my roommate and his girlfriend had gotten into a fight. I laid there for a while, and the crying continued. The more I listened, I could tell that the crying wasn't coming from the living room. So I sat up in bed. There was a girl sitting on the chair in my bedroom. She was about 16 years old, wearing a blue dress from the late 1800s, long blonde hair, and crying. When I asked her who she was and what was wrong, she looked at me with a frightened look, stood up, and disappeared right into the wall. I came running out of the bedroom. My roommate was sitting quietly watching TV. I told him what had just happened. He, of course, didn't see or hear any of it. Didn't believe it. Never saw the girl again. To this day, I have no explanation as to what happened. That's from Pat in Scottsdale, Arizona, listening to KFYI. Thanks, Pat. Let's say here further. On the toll-free line, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Art.
Yes, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm listening off of San Antonio WOAI.
Yes, sir. And where are you?
Well, I'm in Denver, Art. I can't listen that late on Sundays here.
No, I understand. Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, I don't know how scary this is, but it's true. One night I was sleeping and I woke up to find myself, you talk about feeling a presence, and it wasn't a divine presence, but it felt kind of ominous to me. In fact, I was kind of frightened, but I felt like a weight on top of my body, and I started feeling myself spinning on the bed, which, like I said, it did frighten me, and I wasn't having any of it, so I started, not that I'm particularly, well, I am religious, but anyway, I started reciting the Lord's Prayer, but it wasn't having any result, and I said to myself, please, Lord, get this better, And,
you use little faith. In other words, you tried the Lord's Prayer once, and when the weight was still...
no, I was repeating it over again in my head.
Okay.
Then I found myself making a sign of the cross with my arm. It's just a big, gigantic sign of the cross. And the interesting thing is this. I had the bedroom door closed, and this Labrador who's passed on, her name was Angel, black Labrador. The door was closed. I didn't make any noise. She just started barking her head off. And I just felt that whatever it was at that time had left, and then these geese a quarter of a mile from the house started squawking their heads off. And I thought to myself, well, did they hear Angel barking? Or, did they? I just kind of imagined that whatever just flew over them, but that's the story.
All right, sir, I thank you. And again, it's the sense or the feeling, and another story with regard to a dog. Isn't that interesting? Animals do seem to feel things that, or feel them earlier than we do, or are more aware of them, and it has to do with the fact that they are closer to nature than are we. Even though they may live in homes with us, they don't partake of the 20th century the way we do, and all the noise and the inherent interruption that we have, and so they are faster to sense a presence. There are some people, though, that are rather sensitive to this sort of thing, and they feel it early and quickly, as an animal would. But for most of us, an animal is a pretty good monitor. Have you ever felt something that your dog first felt? It'll get up and start to bark, or your cat will totally freak out, or whatever animal you have around, and then you'll feel it. Something's close, something's near, there's a presence. Maybe nothing more than that. They feel it first. On the toll-free line, you're on the air. Good morning. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Turn your radio off, please. And tell us where you're calling from.
Granite City, Illinois.
Okay, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Go right ahead.
Okay. I was raised in this house from when I was born up until the age of 13. And it was like plates would fly off of the table and smash into like the cabinet. And there would be like cold spots in the house and different smells. Sometimes it would be like real foul odor, and the other times it would be like real sweet smells.
Sounds like a poltergeist.
Well, I don't know, but it was very, very scary.
How could you live in such a house?
Because I was a child, I had really no choice to move out.
Well, what did your mother and your father say?
Oh, well, we all experienced the different things. We would hear like footsteps walking up the steps.
Did you actually see a plate lift and fly off the table?
Yes. And also coffee cups, like the real thick coffee cups would like smash into the metal cabinets and leave big dents.
Wow.
And my parents had, I don't remember what you call them, if they came into like drive-out ghosts. And I guess there was probably about 4 of them that came in, and they felt more presence in the basement. And someone had said that there was a person that had hung himself in the basement. Most of the activity happened in the basement.
Yes.
And doors would slam. And we had a dog, and the dog would like start watching something, you know, that we couldn't see in the room.
Right.
And I was, the day that we moved out of the house, that was one of the happiest days of my life.
How long did that go on?
Until we moved.
Which was how long?
13 years.
13 years.
Mm-hmm. After the people that came in to drive out whatever was in the house, the activity kind of slowed down a little bit for a short time, but then it started again. And I don't think anyone lives in that house for very long periods of time.
Is that in the state of Illinois?
Yes, it is.
Well, that's quite a story, and I'm glad you made it through it all right. I don't think I could have handled 13 years of that, or even 13 days.
Well, now, if I move into a new house, if I have any, like, if I feel any presence, there is no way that I would live there.
Well, thank you very much for the call. Do you know that in a lot of states, there is now actually on the books a law that requires you to notify anybody who might be considering buying this house that it is haunted. Did you know that? There is actually a law of that sort, and there have been court cases that people have won because there was not notification given of a haunting. Can you imagine living with that for 13 years? And on our toll-free line, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Arvell. How are you doing?
Just fine. Where are you?
I'm in Seattle, Washington.
Seattle. Oh, we're holding this line for Eastern Rockies, sir, until 2 a.m. Pacific.
Okay, I'll call back.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. On the wildcard line, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, Art. How you doing?
Just fine. Where are you?
I'm in Lexington.
Lexington, Kentucky. Excellent.
Got 2 stories for you.
All right.
One was when I graduated from tech school and I was in the Air Force. Me and a WAF boarded a plane in Chicago, and so she was telling me about the aircraft, and as we boarded, there was 2 pilots sitting in the back. And I said, we can talk to them, you know, later on when we get airborne. Because there was a technicality that she didn't quite understand on the aircraft.
Yes.
Well, the plane took off and everything, and the seatbelt deal came off. I said, let's step back there and talk to them. And we looked around, and they were gone. So I said to the airline stewardess, I said, ma'am, I said, where did the pilot go? She said, what pilot? I said, the 2 pilots in the back. And the girl sitting with me said, yeah, we've seen 2 of them. She said, wait right here, I'll be right back. And she ran and got 2 stewards to come back. She said, tell them exactly what you told me. And so I told her, told the other 2, and the one started crying. got all upset and had to take her back. Do you recall the aircraft that crashed in the Everglades?
Very well, sir.
That's what part of that was.
I've heard a lot of stories like this, and I think there are many. I have a very good friend that works for a major company, which I can't name, and when he retires from this company, I'm going to have him on the air, and we're going to tell some of these stories. But you are exactly right. That particular crash,
I think it was like 401, wasn't it?
401 or 409.
They were chalky white-looking individuals, but they looked solid.
Listen to me. I'm telling you, I've heard privately told, not for attribution, stories just like the one you're telling me right now, and it's going on to this day. Aircraft are haunted.
Oh, okay.
And it's because of that particular crash and a few others. And
well, they cannibalize the parts, don't they, and put them in the other aircraft?
You see, yes, that's right. You see spirits that lose their lives unexpectedly, as in an air crash.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're the ones that tend to be troubled, possibly remain on this earth, possibly haunt at the location of their death. In this case, an aircraft.
Well, the second story has to do with a place in Tennessee called Cookville. And that happened this summer. We moved into a trailer park, into a little trailer, and it was really clean. It was a nice little trailer. No air conditioning, though. It was real hot. And the first night I got up to go to the restroom, it was about 1 or 2 in the morning, the bathroom. I stepped on it into the living room, and of course we had the windows open, and there was an alley by the trailer, and I heard a girl laughing. And I thought, what in the world? It was about 2 in the morning. I looked out, and I didn't see anybody. So I went to the bathroom, and I came on back, and the next morning I was telling my friend about it, and she said, probably just somebody outside. I said, okay. And our cat kept his head riveted to this one spot in the living room. When you picked him up, it was like a joke. His head would just rivet back and forth in this one spot. Pivot.
I understand.
Anyways, later on, one of the neighbors finally told us that the reason they couldn't keep that trailer rented was because a girl was brutally murdered there a year before. Okay, so we were, I said, well, we got to get out of here eventually. I mean, I don't want to stay in this trailer because we kept hearing bangs and knocks and different things. And so we were sitting there, this was in the afternoon, we were sitting there arguing about the doors being open. We had both doors open in this trailer because we didn't have air conditioning.
Okay, very quickly.
And I said, why don't you close the door? And she said, why don't you do it? And about that time, the door just slammed shut. And I just turned around and I said, thank you.
That'd be enough for me.
Well, we moved. We got the heck out of there. But that trailer definitely had some problems. But it was so weird the way that cat would just watch that. And then
I know, they know. So yeah, I've got to go. Thank you very much for the call. Have a good morning. This is Ghost to Ghost AM. From the Kingdom of Nine. From the Kingdom of Nine, this is Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell on the CBC Radio Network. Now, once again, here's our good morning. Those stations just joining us. You have missed 2 hours of pure ghost stories. We will continue in a moment. The night is yours. The weekend is here. It's Halloween weekend, and this is the annual Ghost Show. The only thing we take all night long are ghost stories, and we've had some cute so far, believe me. Here here is one just faxed in, and you are welcome to fax in a ghost story if you have one. They're better when they're short, and I would appreciate that. The fax number, area code 702-727-8499, 702-727-8499. Dear Art, this is a true story, as well as I can recall it. In 1973, as a member of the U.S. Air Force, I was stationed at Altus Air Force Base in Oklahoma. During that particular year, the author Peter Blatty's novel, The Exorcist, was the hit movie of the season, as well as the paperback version of the screenplay. The paperback was distributed through barracks that I lived in, one resident at a time, as we did in those days. When it was my turn to read the novel, I read it with much anticipation, as well as much anxiety. The following night, around about 500 hours, I was awakened by the sensation of something pounding on the lower bunk that I slept in. It was moving up my torso. At that time, I didn't have a roommate, but the sensation frightened me so much that I got out of my bunk, scrambled to the door, opened it, and yelled for help as loud as I could. Not one of my barracks mates in our building heard my screams for help, not one, or cooperated with my version of the story. But to this day, I believe the incident was very real, an actual occurrence. I don't tempt mirrors or taboos of that nature to this day, maybe in San Diego. And this, Art, in January of 1976, I was busy cleaning the kitchen after dinner. The kids were in the living room watching TV, and my husband, the cop at the time, had returned to work. Suddenly, I heard a voice calling my name, Carol Ann. It sounded like my grandfather, who lived in Indiana. I was in Mesa, Arizona. Regardless of how old I am, he always called me by both my first and middle name. About 15 minutes after this episode, the telephone rang. It was my sister in California. She was calling to tell me that my grandfather had passed away about an hour before. Since I had always been very close to my grandfather, I just figured he'd pass through to see me before he went on. It had been a couple of years since I was there. In July of '80, I had a dream about both my grandparents, and they were in their wedding clothes, young, and dancing and laughing and having a wonderful time. The next morning, my mom called me to inform me that Grandma had just passed away during the night. I think she came to me, let me know she was glad it was with Granddad again, and both were very happy. Back to the phones. On the toll-free line, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yeah, Art, this is Radical Rudy in St. Louis.
Hi there, Radical Rudy.
How you doing? I'm talking to you on my truck. Hey, listen to you on my 818 CS.
Excellent.
Hey, this happened in 1972, Art. I was out near Gallup, New Mexico, actually in a little town called Chinle, Arizona, on the Indian reservation. And I was a surveyor. I was out there with my boss one night in the fall of the year, probably about this time of year. And he was on one mountain ridge, and I was on the other. And we were surveying back and forth across this valley. And he kept saying, "Do you hear those wolves?" And I said, "Man, I don't hear any wolves." And he said, he said these Indians supposedly can turn into a wolf. He said, "I hope there's no burial grounds over there, buddy." And I was in a Jeep, the top was off of it. And I was sitting there, it was kind of warm, and I was starting to get spooked a little bit, because I had never seen anything weird or anything. But I'm sitting there in a Jeep, and I got my arm hanging out the window, talking to my boss on the radio. All of a sudden, something started licking on my hand. I almost panicked. I jerked my hand up, and I looked out, and it was an old hound dog. But I'm telling you, that seat was very unclean for several days.
I'm with you. All right.
It really scared me.
Thank you very much. I can imagine you would. I mean, you're set up for that. You know what I'm saying? That's actually kind of funny. I appreciate the story, sir. What we're telling are true, real ghost stories for the most part. That was an almost ghost story. And I'm sure that the emotion you felt at that moment was very real. You get psychologically set up for something like that, which may have happened to him and certainly may have occurred also to the man who was reading The Exorcist. Cannot be a better setup than that. The Exorcist had to be one of the most frightening movies ever done. And to this day, I believe The Exorcist is one of the most frightening movies ever made. If you sit down and watch it today, it will scare you as much as it did then. There was something about it that no other ghost film quite ever lived up to. And I'm not sure what it was. I believe it had to do with the church and its involvement. Not exactly sure. But nothing has quite ever lived up to it. The other film that I thought was very frightening was the original Poltergeist. Very well done. On the toll-free line, you're on the air. Hello.
Mark Bell?
Yes.
The Asheville Independent from Austin, Texas on the mighty WOAI.
Austin, Texas. Yes, sir.
When I was a kid, about 7 years old, I stayed with my Aunt Marie in the country.
Yes.
It was a pretty nice thing, except when we had to go to church. This is a ghost story. Well, a kind of one.
Okay.
They were charismatic, and they would run around and act real silly in church, and so they'd make all us kids stay in the back of the church where we couldn't see and be silly. We get really bored. So one day we decided to do something as a group of kids to offend them. So we found this pin and this little salamander lizard, and we nailed it to the wall, and we told them that if God didn't accept this sacrifice, we were giving it to Satan. And naturally they got really upset, but they didn't do anything terribly bad. The next night when I was asleep, for some reason I bolted straight away. And I kept my room really clean. Well, actually I didn't, my Aunt Marie did. And when I looked into my closet, there was this thing sitting there. This thing, I mean, if it weren't for the way this thing looked, I would have thought it was a nightmare.
What was it?
It was, if you can imagine something that's four-dimensional. It's a pitch black room, and this thing is so dark I can clearly see it. I mean, it's like, it was kind of like black light. And along the edges of it was kind of, you could see its edges because it's like the very air around it was repelled by, like it mounted a beam. It's like the very matter around it was repelling something.
That'd do it for me.
Well, it's the only thing about it that actually looked physical was it was a triangle with a slit up the center that ended in a little round thing. And when I looked into its eyes, which at first looked like kind of pools of light blood looking around, it got two blue dots that looked just like my eyes that were the center of it. And the longer I looked at it, the faster my heart began to beat. I got so scared I tried to yell out and scream for help. And I couldn't, my voice just stopped. I couldn't.
I understand that kind of fright. So frightening you cannot scream, not out loud.
Exactly. So the last thing I did was cry out to God for help in my head. It was all I could do. And the next thing I knew, it was morning, and I was laying down in bed, and I don't remember any time passing between those events.
Could it have been just a nightmare?
That would have been my attitude, except for one thing.
Yes.
Nothing on earth looked like this thing. Oh, and in the morning I looked at where the only other antidote to the story was if I did open the closet because it was closed again when I woke up, and my toys were piled end on end. And my toys were kept very, very straight and neat. That was the other thing. They were always lined up very neatly on little shelves in the back. They were totally jumbled. Someone had deliberately turned them over and upside down, but none of them were broken.
That'd be it for me, Bart.
Yeah, I mean, but no. Try to imagine something that's four-dimensional, and that the very environment around it is just finds it obscene and repelled from.
I
Imagine your eyes being sucked into this thing to see your own eyes from that day.
No, thank you. I appreciate the story.
You're welcome.
Thank you from Austin, Texas. Well, This will sound silly to you, I suppose, but my wife knows. She may not know why until I tell her. I always close closet doors. I don't like closets. Closets are dark places where if anything was going to come, I would think it would come. And I always close closets before I go to sleep. Now, what is it about closets? They're dark areas from which things come. Everybody knows that. It's just a habit. I don't like opening closet doors, and so before I go to bed, I always go to close them. That's why. Probably should do this. But it is true. On the wild card line, you're on the air. Hello. Hello there. Going once, going twice, going three times. On the wild card line, let's see, number 2, you're on the air.
Yes, sir. This is Henry in town.
Hello, Henry.
I like your program tonight. Very interesting.
Oh, yes.
I've lived in a haunted house now for 36 years.
Why? That's what I always ask. Why would somebody stay in a haunted house?
Well, you get used to it.
What kind of haunting?
The 6 different ghosts. And it took me about 20 years of research to find out what happened on the property. And there was a tragedy, 2 different tragedies, one in 1903 and another in 1906.
Always an early death.
Violent death by fire, both cases. And so, for the property came the ghost.
Well, what kind of haunting has it been?
Everything, doors opening and closing. I've never seen them physically. I see their shadows. And they're 3 sisters that were killed in the fire in 1906, and they run through the house frequently at night. One time I had an aunt staying with me, and then the girls ran through the house back and forth for 6 hours straight.
Really?
Yeah, my aunt never came back.
Oh, I didn't either. That's frightening stuff, and it goes on to this day.
Oh, yeah.
And you never quite see them, their shadows.
And the doors open and close every day. And lamp lift up, step back down every day.
Lift up into the air?
Yeah.
How do you handle that? I mean, how do you stand it?
You believe it or not, you get used to it. I mean, you just take it as something that happens. It's part of living.
Haven't you ever thought of having a priest in to try and stop it?
It's never been threatening enough to, in my opinion, call a priest in. I have tried to communicate with them.
No offense, but I don't know how you sleep at night. I mean, it may not have done anything yet, but if those spirits are there, we're all for certain.
They're there, but they're not harmful. They're just, they don't realize they're dead the way they die.
Oh, I've often wondered about that. Whether spirits do realize they are dead.
They don't. The worst part of the whole haunting is when there was one particular time, it's been about 15 years ago, I heard a man screaming, a terrible scream. It was in my bedroom. I could hear the screaming, and I ran outside. It was quiet outside, no sound at all. When I went back inside, the screaming was still going on. And it was later when I finally found a witness to the event that happened. She said, "Oh, that was the man when they could get to him. He was dying from screaming."
All right, thank you very much for the story. See, that's a chilling one. I wouldn't stay in a home like that with you. Well, look, because it's topical, I'll tell you, the best ghost photographs. No, the 2 best ghost photographs that I've ever seen. We put originally on computer services for those with computers downloaded. Many have seen them, but most of you have not. These ghost photographs are in our new newsletter, and the premiere edition of the newsletter is about to come out. And particularly the one by the Stone Mason is probably, in my opinion, the best photograph of an entity that I've ever seen. As a matter of fact, let me take just a moment out and read you the letter that accompanied the photograph that appears in the newsletter. Dear Lord, first let me thank you for your daily program and Dreamland. A week or so ago, I heard you talking about the Halloween show with the listener. I missed most of it, but if you're interested in ghosts, here is a photograph that might be. A friend of mine who is a stone mason was working on an old home in L.A. On finishing the wine cellar in the old existing basement, he photographed his work for his friend. When he developed the pictures, this is what showed up on one. He didn't see anything when the photo was taken. However, on questioning the architect, he was told that 3 crews, carpenters and so forth, had walked off the project. It seemed they felt very cold air. Some were pushed down the stairs by an unseen force. Since these photos were taken, I talked to the architect and was told the home is about 100 years old and was listed for sale after the man who lived there died. The architect also told me that a Chinese man was interested in buying the home, but when they brought their priests to okay the home, and the Chinese do that, and bless it, they left in a big hurry, screaming. Evidently, the new owner, who's having it completely renovated, knows about the ghost, but does not know what has happened to the workmen, nor have they seen this photo. A friend of mine who took the photograph is a Muslim, a very religious man who does not have any interest or belief in ghosts. Just thought he'd like to see it. And he's not believing. And I must tell you, you have never seen anything like it. I'm going to be very interested in your opinions when you get this newsletter. So it's in there, and in fact, a lot more is in our premier newsletter. There's a Dreamland report, for example, with a big story on Richard Hoagland, a big interview with Richard Hoagland. The key photographs of the moon from Richard Hoagland are also in there. There'll be a number of stories, one about the crime. There'll be a story from me, a story that I've written for the newsletter that I think is pretty hard-hitting. It's pretty rough stuff. I hope you enjoy. There's Behind the Scenes by Alan Corbett, the president of our network. There will be a complete listing of radio stations for Coast to Coast and Dreamland. There will be article after article after article, and already it is growing. It will begin at 16 pages or more. And you can get it now by ordering right now or anytime our brand new newsletter entitled After Dark. It's going to be a real downtown production. You can order right now. It's just $29.95. It'll come to you every single month, and that will get you an entire year. If you have Visa or MasterCard, you can call 1. In fact, you can call right now, and I recommend before this premiere edition is exhausted, you get in on this. 1-800-917-4278. 1-800-917-4278 if you have Visa or MasterCard. If not, send $29.95 in a check or money order to Chancellor Broadcasting, 744 East Pine, Central Point, Oregon, 97502. $29.95 to Chancellor Broadcasting, 744 East Pine Street, Central Point, Oregon, 97502. Now, those of you who just joined us at 1 a.m. Pacific Time will not yet have had enough of a chance. You've heard a couple of stories. But cumulatively, since 11 p.m. Pacific Time, I don't see how you could listen to this. And these people, many of them very articulate, very serious, and very honest, and not begin to believe that there is something that follows this life for some, if not all. That's what we're doing. It's Halloween weekend, and we're telling ghost stories, real ghost stories. Keep listening. Dim the lights if you dare. If you can't handle it, turn it off. We'll be back. Welcome back to Ghost to Ghost AM. I'm Martel. We're telling ghost stories, real ones. Join us if you dare. I've got a whole pile of faxes here of very good ghost stories. I guess asking the show to see, and I'll come get to them as I can this morning. On the wild card line, you're on the air. Hello.
Good morning, Art.
Good morning, sir.
This is Nick from Phoenix.
Great.
I'm not real sure if this is a ghost story or not.
Well, tell it and we'll let you know.
In the summer of '77, I woke up about 2:30 in the morning because my girlfriend was out of bed. So I walked into the living room to find out what was wrong, and she was sitting on the couch, naked, with her knees pulled up under her chin and her eyes about the size of saucers, and looking at me like I'd grown 3 or 4 extra heads. So I said, what's wrong? What's going on? She said, don't do that to me. Well, it took a little while. But she finally told me that what had happened was she heard me talking and she thought it was in my sleep. She rolled over towards me and she said, you're as stiff as this crumbly table and it's cold as an ice box. So what do you mean? She says, I don't know. I said, I got up and took a look and you're laying there in bed, stiff. Your mouth's a little bit open, but your lips aren't moving and you're carrying on a conversation with a little boy and a woman. And I can hear them talking back to you when you're talking to a third person, another woman, but I can't hear her.
Oh, boy. I guess I'd have done the same thing. I'd be up and out.
Well, I think so. Anyway, apparently I had carried on this conversation with a little boy and a woman with my mouth not moving, being stiff as a board, cold as a freezer, for about 5 or 6 minutes, and she sat there and listened to a little bit of it. Then went out in the living room, she could hear all of us talking. And it definitely spooked her, and it affected our relationship considerably. Most of the conversation concerned whether or not the woman that she could hear, where she had left her glasses, why she wasn't wearing them. And what it all came from was 6 months earlier. My wife, our son, and her mother were all killed in a car accident. And no one could tell me exactly what happened. So I knew a private investigator and I asked him, how can I find out what happened? He laid out all the rules, what I went, what I had to go, and what I had to see, and what kind of papers I had to get. And I went off and spent about a month doing that, and I found out exactly what happened and why. Because I could never figure out why I couldn't find her glasses anywhere in around the car or the accident scene. And so I don't know if it was my brain working with a problem who finally said, look, I'm going to give it an answer so it'll stop working on it, or something supernatural actually happened.
Well, we'll let people decide for themselves, but I think I'd be opting for the latter.
The only reason I leaned to it is because apparently the way I felt to her scared her more than the voices. She thought I was dead.
Thank you for the call, sir. That was a good story. I don't know if you tell me folks what happened to that. I Art, my cousin and her husband bought a house in a suburb of Phoenix about 6 years ago. They and their 2 kids, plus another cousin of mine, moved in right away. My cousin, who we will call Linda, found herself at home all night with only the kids. Linda's husband worked the graveyard shift, and her brother took a job in law firm that week off. The night in question was just like any other, until her 40-year-old son came into the room and woke her up. She was not facing him when he woke her up, and she did not immediately turn around. She asked him what he wanted, and he told her he couldn't sleep because somebody was in his room. He told him, of course there is. You share your room with your brother. He told her it's not his brother. It's some guy he doesn't know. At this point, she turned around to look at him, and when she did, she saw a man standing behind her son. She described him as wearing a plaid cowboy shirt, blue jeans, and a cowboy hat. She said she could see right through the doorway behind. She said that he was white, kind of glowing. She said a lot like you see in movies. She immediately jumped out of bed and he was gone. She grabbed both of her sons and went to her mother's house. Her brother claimed to have seen him about 2 weeks later. Much more than I can tell here. Great show. We've got our candles burning. Gary, Sandy, KFYI. First time caller line, you're on the air.
Yeah, hi, Mark. That last story was really good. I got a Ouija board story for you. You don't like them?
I have no comment. Go ahead with your story.
This story was told to me by my friend Ryan in the utmost seriousness, and it literally made my heart skip a beat. It was told to me about when he was 16, and then his older brother, who was about 21 at the time, and their parents were gone for the weekend. And so his older brother had a couple friends come over, and they decided they were going to do the Ouija board thing. So they put a Ouija board down, and they played with it a little bit, and they decided that they were going to let people do it alone. Okay, one person do it at a time. And in this group of friends, there was a couple of, jokers that used to mess around. There was one guy that they knew was always honest. So they put him on the board. And so they put him on the board, and my friend was in the corner just kind of watching. Now, a couple years earlier, about 2 or 3 years earlier, their grandfather had been in a terrible car accident. His name was Barry, okay? Now, he had been in a car accident and was in a coma, and he had been in a coma since. And they didn't predict that he was going to come out of the coma anytime soon. And you know how those kind of comas are. They just keep going and going and going. Sure. So, his older brother decides to call to see if he can find Barry. And his friend, who had never met Barry, was on the Ouija board, alone, and it was not moving. And he starts saying, Barry, Grandpa Barry, are you around? Are you with us? Grandpa Barry, are you around? Are you with us? All of a sudden, the Ouija board starts moving a little bit. And what my friend told me is that they just felt the biggest chill come into the room. And a real slight little wind was kind of blowing through the room, very slight. And everyone was just getting goosebumps and looking at each other like they knew something was going on. Something was there. Yeah. And so they started spelling out things. They say, are you Grandpa Barry? And they said, yes. And the guy has his eyes shut. He's alone on the Ouija board. His eyes are shut. And it starts going around. It starts spelling out, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. It's cold. It's cold. It's dark. Okay? And it kept saying that for about maybe a couple minutes. I'm scared. It's dark. I'm cold. And they were just freaking out. I mean, looking at each other. And they were just about to grab their friend. Their friend started sweating. It was on the Ouija board. He was sweating and his fingers were shaking on the thing.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it just started going real quick. And it said, keep praying, keep praying, keep praying, keep praying. Until it was too fast. They couldn't keep handling it. And they grabbed their friend. And when he opened his eyes, he had no idea what happened. He was almost in kind of a shock. And my friend told me that I was one of the only people that he told that story to because it scared him so much.
I can understand. I appreciate the story, sir. Thank you. And that is the Ouija board. And I think that Ouija boards are I think that when you use the Ouija board, you invite the possibility of a real danger. That when you, and I don't even know that it is specifically the Ouija board, it's just that you have put yourself in such a receptive mood, and such a non-specifically receptive mood, that anything may show up. Ouija boards, mirrors, things that put you in a receptive mood, I think you do with your own risk. The following is more a premonition than a ghost story. Very strange and very true. In 1974, my husband's baby brother, 27 years old, had gone to visit some of his friends who owned a bar in Biloxi, Mississippi, who didn't drink. Just wanted to hang out with friends. A young woman walked into the bar. She'd been roller skating and had fallen. She was about 3 months pregnant and was having some discomfort. Her husband was in the military overseas. My brother-in-law did not know this woman. but offered to drive her home, and she accepted. On the way, they were hit by a drunk driver and killed instantly. Later that day, my mother-in-law walked into his bedroom. Lying on his dresser in plain sight were his life insurance papers, instructions explaining how to distribute his personal effects, detailed instructions explaining how he wanted to be buried, and a list of people to contact in case of death. Art, I realize it sounds strange, but it's the truth. Linda in Metairie, Louisiana. On the toll-free line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, this is Carol, calling from Columbia, Missouri.
Yes, sir.
When I was probably 15, this is about the ghost story, obviously. My parents built a brand new house in southeast Missouri, a town called Dexter. And it was a completely brand new house, landscaping from the top to bottom. And after the house was built, we proceeded to the landscaping. And as we were digging in the backyard for rose gardens and flower gardens and things of that nature, we kept digging up all these horseshoes and all these bits of machinery. So my father asked the people in town, exactly if they knew what the history of the area that we lived in was. And we discovered that the home site that our house was built upon was previously an old farmhouse, circa 1890, 1900, something like that. So one day we were back there helping my father dig some rose gardens, and I unearthed a piece of it actually was the handle of one of the teacups. And I didn't think much of it, so I threw it over to the side, and I kept digging, and I kept digging up all these different pieces. So eventually, I discovered that I had a multitude of these pieces. So I put them all together and washed them off, and I virtually had an entire teacup. And I washed them off, glued them together, and it was a very fine piece of porcelain china. It had a nice floral pattern, etc. So I took it in the house. I thought, well, this is going to be, as kind of an artifact, or so to speak. That night, my parents went into town to pick up some lighting fixtures, and I stayed at home, and I heard voices upstairs. For the first time, we probably been in the house for like 3 or maybe 3 or 4 months. I heard voices upstairs, and they weren't in any way intimidating, but it was as if people were conversing about the events of the day or what have you, and laughing, as people would do, kind of. It was just very, very, nonchalant. And I thought my parents were home, so I called them upstairs. Hey, is anybody home? And the voices stopped. And I immediately thought, well, my goodness, my mind must be playing tricks on me. So just went on with whatever I was doing, and I kept hearing the voices. And this went on several times during the night, and I just was, after a while, I was terrified. I got my damn shotgun out, and I was literally screaming upstairs, thinking that we had intruders in the house. And my parents eventually got home, and of course, there was nobody in the house. This went on for weeks and weeks and weeks. And finally, for some reason, I'm 35 now, it's been so long, I don't know how I finally deduced that it had any correlation with the teacup. But I finally took that teacup and I threw it away because I thought that it had something to do with those voices. And never again would I hear the voices ever.
All right, I appreciate the story. It is interesting. And sometimes things are haunted. Places, things. And you must be careful about what you bring into your home. I had a real experience with a Ouija board. I'm not really going to go into it right now because it actually scared me. But I do tell you, be careful. On our Wildcard line, you're on the air. Good morning.
Oh, this is here in Edmonds, Washington.
Edmonds, Washington. Yes, sir.
I got a couple of what could be those stories. I remember one time when me and my brother, we were just little kids, and we shared a room, and it was on the second floor of our house back in Minnesota, and we had to go to bed early, and we didn't like going to bed early, so we used to sit up on our windowsill and just look outside.
Sure.
Well, one night when we were up there sitting on our windowsill, we both got spanked, and we turned around, and there was nobody there. Nobody at all.
Wait a minute. You both got a spanking
Yeah, we were
from an unseen force?
nothing was there. The door was shut to the room, and we both looked at each other and went to bed. And I still remember it like it was yesterday.
Well, I mean, what happened? Did somebody turn you over and spank you, or
Since our backs were toward the wall, I mean, we were looking out the window and all. And since we were pretty little,
I've got it.
we
Yeah.
were on the window, and we both got one swat apiece, and we both could hear it. When we both turned around, almost instantly, and there was nothing there. Nothing at all.
Well, if there was more discipline like that or any other, I guess America would be a better place today, huh?
Okay, I got one more too.
Yes, sir.
And this is my sister. She lives on the second floor. She lives across the house from us on the second floor. One night she woke up and she was crying. And my mom was in there, and my sister was telling my mom that they were looking at her through the window. My mom went outside, and there was no ladders there or anything. There's no trees there to climb up on, anything like that. My sister swears it was someone looking at her through a window on the second floor.
I appreciate the story, sir. Again, a presence. How many of you have ever felt a presence in your lives? Maybe not a full ghost story, maybe not some of the poltergeists and things that you've heard about so far. That's things moving through the air, that's all. But a presence. How many times in your life have you felt a presence when there wasn't? You dismiss it, don't you? As a bit of undigested baloney or something else. And you dismiss it. It's easier to dismiss because the alternative is a little frightening. Well, I believe that sometimes, even many times, those feelings of a presence are real. On the toll-free line, you're on the air. Good morning. Where are you calling from? Yes.
I'm up in the LA this evening.
Okay, glad you made it.
And I have two stories for you. One is ongoing, and one happened 6 years ago.
All right.
6 years ago, my grandmother passed away, and we took her back to her house. And after the funeral, we went to the farm that my uncle takes care of now, and I've been here for many years. And I kind of wanted to get away from this place for a while. So I started walking down the country road that I've walked on for years and years and years, and I had harnessed my granddaughter to be with me. And I realized I had gone further than I normally did, and so I started following the edge of the road so I could make sure I made the right turn to go back on the right the other way back. The other direction is that.
That's right.
So I started following the road back, and I felt that I had gone off the head of a hip. And I started to take my dog back to the left and go back on the other side of the road.
Right.
And I feel it's not like something warm and light next to my dog on the other side. He did not go back that way. And he kept teasing me around the corner. I wasn't threatened by it, but it did take me up. And after I turned the corner, I could hear him just saying something like, "You always told me you weren't afraid of me." To this day, I am convinced it was my grandmother standing at the corner of the road, making sure I made it right. And, after that, I told my mom about it. She goes, "Yeah, we're going to do that. She will walk down for you." The other one
Well, they tell us there's about to be another network story incidentally on angels, guardian angels. There's a lot of stories lately about that. And in those shows, you will see a lot of examples of relatives who are gone and yet act as guardian angels for those who remain.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. In the ongoing one that's going on, I live in a house that has water. And she is non-threatening. And I first found out about her, oh, that 6 months after we moved in. I kept hearing things and thinking it was our cat or my dog going downstairs or something. And I walked upstairs one day and my daughter is talking in the room. And I said, "Hey, who's talking to?"
Yeah.
And I said, "It's me in the corner." And she described my grandfather, who was her great-grandfather. We found that out when I put up a picture of him and his grandmother in the front room. And I talked to her every day. So that would get into your guardian angel. The lady who lives here in the house, and I used to think while we keep walking up and down the stairs that it was just me doing it. And I asked my brother about it because he had the house before me. And he said, "You're lucky that's all you find." I used to see the door move. She never threatened me. Every evening at 10 o'clock, she comes to the front door. And every morning,
You mean the door opens?
it makes a noise that I cannot get it to make. And the keys turn in the lock. The door itself does not move.
I see. I can handle that. I don't think I can handle that well at all. Now maybe it is something you get used to. You're about the second or third person I've talked to who said it's ongoing and I'm used to it. It doesn't bother me now. But I don't think I can be that way.
But you see, she's giving me the impression that as long as we don't harm her house, she can harm me. And she did protect us from we had someone come and break in here, and I was trying to come in the front door one night, and she repeated to let me get the door open. And so the people had come out of the back.
That's quite a story. Thank you. That is those are several actually, guardian angel type stories. And there are a number of programs of that sort yet to air. There's been a series of them. Relatives who, I guess, are able to return or who are here, who are watching out for their loved ones. Unreasonable? If there's an afterlife? I don't think so. In fact, entirely reasonable, really, when you think about it. A little frightening, but certainly reasonable. We'll be back.
Call our friend. In the kingdom of time, toll free at 1-800-618-1855. 1-800-618-TALK. Or $7.702-727-1222. 702-727-1222. Or use the wildcard line at 702-727-1295. This is Coast to Coast Radio on the CBC Radio Network.
If you need proof, you may not find it here. On the other hand, collectively, as you listen, to deny the intelligent, articulate stories that you're hearing seems silly. Dear Art, my grandmother Lucy used to come to my family on certain days and tell us that she had seen the lady dressed in black. That day, somebody in the family would die. She was frighteningly right. But when she saw this woman, someone in the family always died on the same day, Lucy was the only one that could see the lady in black. That's Brian. Go, Brian. And Wildcard Time, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hi, Mark. This is Teresa Seattle.
Well, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you. Are we here?
I sure hope so.
Oh, okay. I just turned off my radio. I have a couple to tell you about.
Go right ahead.
The first one is about 2 years old, and I had to move up to Seattle to live with my dad. I had been living with my mother, and my grandmother had been living with my dad. And when I left, we had been so close all my life. Kids are. And we kind of had our little disagreements and whatever. And one night, I heard someone call my name. I woke up. I looked at the clock. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. I laid back down. I heard my name. I looked up. And there was my grandma. It was like just coming down out of the ceiling.
Yes.
But I couldn't see anything except from the waist up. And her arms were out there. And she said my name 2 or 3 times.
Was she solid in appearance?
You know, she was like a kind of an opaque. I wouldn't say translucent, but you know, it was kind of like she was scary, if that makes any sense.
It does. Oh, yes, it does.
Okay. And after she said my name 2 or 3 times, she just kind of vanished. And I felt at peace. I wasn't afraid. And I didn't really just think anything more about it. Putting up the drink of water. She was so natural. And later on that morning, when everybody was up about 9 o'clock, my mother called. And when the phone rang, I said to my brother and my dad, "That's Mom. Grandma died." And they looked at me like I was nuts. And my brother said, "Yeah, sure." And he picked up the phone, and it was my mother saying my grandmother had died in New Mexico at 3 o'clock in the morning. When I was trying to change at the exact same time, I heard my name being called. And I've always felt that was her way of making speech. And I never felt any doubt. I just felt like she understood. And it was kind of an experience. And the next one kind of has to do with the angel. Although I never saw the angel. We had a big inaugural big storm a couple years ago. The trees were going down and everything there. And there's a lot of really old growth trees and stuff, really big firs, and they don't have much of a root system, and many went down. And about 3 weeks after that, we had another bad week down. And I was so frightened. My heart was pounding and everything. And I had just read a book called Where Angels Walk.
Yes.
And I thought, this is frightening. You know, I believe there's guardian angels as a kid. What the heck? So I just said, "Oh Lord, please send your angels to protect me and stop this wind." And he immediately stopped. And my daughter was on her way to school that morning. She was on the way to the bus stop. And she said, "Mom, it was so weird." She said it was blowing and everything, and all of a sudden it was just like somebody turned off the switch. So I knew it wasn't my imagination. So that's just a couple of incidents.
A couple of very good stories, and I thank you.
Well, thank you. I love the program. I'm listening with rapt attention. I got all my lights on.
Good for you. Thank you. If anybody who's got will turn off the lights. Turn them down, better yet, light a candle. Of course, the only trouble with that is that when you do, you provide an inviting atmosphere. Don't you know? I think many times people provide the atmosphere that allows. I really don't know what I'm talking about, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. They provide the atmosphere that allows the entrance of whatever these things are. So if you dare, provide the atmosphere. On the toll-free line, you're on the air. Good morning.
Sure, the newsletter came up. I'd like to suggest that the title be changed to Beyond the Pale.
Yeah. Well, I take it that you are a skeptic.
No, even though it does have a little bit of criticism of the content, it also means that it's beyond the mediocre track.
Well, I hope so. I think so. What we're doing is, I admit readily a little different. A lot of the content of the newsletter is going to be very standard stuff, but a lot of it also will reflect what we do.
What do you mean by what you do?
Well, from time to time on this program, as evidenced by this morning show and others like it that we do, we just sort of leave the beaten path and begin to talk about things that, frankly, a lot of others don't. Or if they do, they don't talk about it seriously.
But okay, and just practice the after dark was used by 200 people to use what's it called? The first impression.
Well, After Dark, though, indeed describes the time that we do what we do, sir. Thanks very much for the call. After Dark describes the time that we function. Hello, Mr. Bell. One of my favorite uncles was my Uncle Lester, one of my father's brothers. We enjoy each other's company and did to a great degree. He loved to tell us war stories, and I was going to go into family ways, never tiring. We would always greet each other by sneaking up behind the other, giving a firm tap on the shoulder while standing behind the opposite shoulder. Of course, the recipient of the tap would look to the side that the tap came from, and no one would be there. Then he'd look to the other side, and there would be the drinking party. We played this game with each other just about every evening, every meeting. Uncle Lester died in 1972 of a rare blood condition. I lost a friend. While talking to my father face to face about our recent loss, I felt a definite, firm tap on my right shoulder. I turned and expected to see my mom. She wasn't there. I turned to my left. She wasn't there. I smiled, cried. Thanks, Art. Don from St. Louis County. On the toll-free line, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning. Is this Art?
Yes, it is.
Hi, am I on the air right now?
I hope so, sir.
Okay.
No, we don't screen calls ever. We just want you on.
Oh, great. Well, I heard you earlier speak about how animals are more accepted.
I believe they are.
Okay. Well, let me run this one. I just come home from work. It was probably around 10. It was dark outside.
10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Well, I really was about 15 feet from the garage door, and that's from the inside. And I was just getting ready to go to bed, and I heard something, a loud crash in the garage, and I went out there, and he had a wood fence out there. I turned on the light, and there was my cat sitting on the wood fence. It had knocked over a can of gasoline, and apparently it drank some. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Well, what happened was, what really got my attention was it was howling. It was just shrieking. And it took off. It was on a odd course. It was making circles, I'd say, around the floor.
This is a joke.
No.
No?
The cat was screaming at the top of the floor. And the next thing I know, it heads straight for me. And, I had no alternative. I shut the door. So the next thing I hear is like a scraping along the door, and then I hear a smack. Okay, a smack, and then I heard a loud crash on the floor. And that was about it. It really, I wasn't quite sure what happened until I went out later and found my cat. Apparently it ran out of gas.
I told you it was a joke. I've heard it. Thanks for the call. On the first-time caller line, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, Art. This is Bill from the Seattle neighborhood of Capitol Hill.
Hi, Bill.
Hi. I heard a lot of the crazy, fantastic tales tonight.
That's right.
Kind of pretty much down everything that maybe a first-timer might understand. I lived in Lawrence, Kansas. I lived in a house that was and my roommate told me about, kind of strange poltergeist type episodes and things. And one night I was sitting in this large room with a bunch of friends of mine, and one of my friends and roommates was studying, and I thought he came home, and I saw him walk past the door, and I was going to play a trick on him, kind of pat him on the back or jump on him or something.
Sure.
And he wasn't there. And then there's a bathroom in the hall, and I thought he turned the corner of the bathroom, went in his room, and he wasn't there. And after I moved out of the house, people reported, people that lived there, and they reported some really strange
understand what was on your end. Wildcard line, you're on the air.
Good morning, Mark. This is Ray in Sacramento.
Hello, Ray.
I have a short one for you. It's rather interesting.
Sure.
It happened to my wife. Before we got married, she was living in Massachusetts and I was in Florida. And she was living in the RWCA. And she walked into, I believe it was either the library or the sitting room, a quiet sitting room in there. And she heard what sounded like a rocking chair going back and forth, creaking, rocking chair. And she's blind, and she had a guide dog with her. And she reached out. She finally got up enough nerve. She's listening to this for quite a little while. And she got up enough nerve to reach out to touch the piece of chair that was really there. And the minute she reached out, it stopped and it was gone.
How weird.
It was extremely weird. She told me this 6 years ago, and it's still different.
Well, these are things that stick with you, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They are.
I appreciate your call, sir. Thank you. These things stick with you many times through life. You don't forget them. Why? Because they suggest the possibility or even the probability collectively. All right, listen, turning away for a moment. On the wildcard line, you're on the air, huh?
Well, good morning, guys. This is Rick, rebellious cab driver calling from Portland. It was 1980.
You betcha.
I'll relate a quick tale. I mean, it's not a tale when it happened. On June 11th, 1970, I was attending an international drama conference. He's living in Indiana, Indiana University. It was about 10:30 that night. It was a Thursday. There was a full moon rising. I was walking back with another member, a delegate of the Oregon delegation to the convention. We just attended the last play for that night. We were walking along shrubbery. I remember there was a hedge and trees off to my right, and I'm talking with my friend. I look over to my right, and I stopped cold in my tracks. There was a woman in the woods staring at me. She was absolutely out of place, Art. She was wearing white clothing, reminiscent clothing that I would see in 1930s movies, right down to her hairstyle.
Yes.
I couldn't see her eyes. I glanced at her for a moment. Like I said, I stopped cold. I looked at my friend. I said, "Jump!" And I turned my head back to the right, and she was gone. I couldn't figure out where she could have gone to. There was enough of a hedge there. I couldn't get over it. I felt compelled to follow this hedge around off the sidewalk, probably about 30 yards, 40 yards off away from the sidewalk. My friend was with me. We rounded another corner. At that moment, the bushes to the right began to shake violently. There was no wind that night, Art. My friend took off running.
I would too.
I found myself standing in front of a stone wall that was about 2 feet high. What I was looking into was an old cemetery that was hidden by the hedge and the shrubbery, which is actually on the campus at Indiana University.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I stepped over it. I walked, I don't know, maybe 30 feet into the cemetery. I stopped and I looked down the moonlight or the street light or whatever was illuminating it. I stopped and looked down at a headstone. I remember the woman's name was Mary. The date of death was 1936. And I looked at it and I realized the headstone was shattered. I looked up when I was trying to, gather what this all meant. And I saw her again, probably about 20 to 25 yards away from me, moving across the cemetery to the right to the left, and this time she just faded away. And that was about the time, I don't know, I started looking around and I realized that all of the headstones were smashed. All of them vandalized. I was consumed with this incredible fear, panic. Anyway, other members of the Oregon delegation stopped me running. There's a wooded area nearby. It was probably about a half a mile away. I mean, I was just, I don't know where I was running to, Art, but I was leaving. I was gone. They ran, they caught up to me, they stopped me. No one had reported vandalism. I believe to this very day, the woman wanted someone to see what had happened to her.
Wow, what a story. And you swear that this is a true story?
Art, I can see her looking at me. That first glance to this very day is a snapshot that is in my mind forever.
I cannot imagine that that would not change your life in some way.
Well, of course it did, Art. I mean, there was immediate, tangible evidence.
I understand, sir. I've got to go. I'm in a break. Thank you very much for the call. There's another one. Archive this one. You can get a copy of this program by calling 1-800-917-4278. Getting a lot of faxes already asking about that. Yes, it is one of those that we make available. And they do a very good job they exorcise all of the commercials. And they put it on a high quality tape and get it to you quickly. And the ordering process has now been speeded up, and we think you will not have trouble getting through because there are the zillion operators standing by. So at any point you decide you want a copy of this program or any guest program that you hear, or special programs of this sort, the number to call is 1-800-917-4278. In addition, that is the number you call if you would like to subscribe to our brand new newsletter called After Dark. Maybe we should call it Beyond the Tale After Dark. 1-800-917-4278 with Visa and MasterCard only. On the wild card line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art. This is Greg. I'm in Woodlawn.
Hi, Greg.
And I got a pretty unique story.
Good.
It happened to me when I was living in the vicinity of Oakland, California.
Yes.
I don't know. I had two really bad things happen to me that week. I lost a real good union job. A day later, the transmission went out on my truck. And I was...
Isn't it the way when it rains, of course?
Yeah. And there's, they just shouldn't have happened, but they did. And then I hired this old black man to help me tear down a chimney and rebuild it. And this house is located, probably one of the oldest houses in Berkeley. And it was kind of a creepy old house to begin with. The landlord said he could never keep a tenant in there for more than a few months. And I didn't think much of it. I worked on it once before. And anyway, I spent all morning. We built a scaffold. We were very careful. I was taking all the precautions and just lowering bricks down with him in a bucket.
Sure.
And I had a brush pushed up against the bottom of my base of the chimney, right closer to where the roof meets the chimney. And it's one of these brushes off a push broom. So it was a large wood brush, back, like a horsehair brush.
Yes.
And just out of the blue, just before 12 o'clock noon, that brush took off on its own, started, sliding down the roof. It went over the gutter, and it fell 18 or more feet, and it hit my helper in the top of the head. He wasn't wearing any hat or anything. And I went down there, and I was really upset, because that was the third and the worst thing that happened to me all week long.
Sure.
And later on, we worked a little bit longer, and I went home, and I was the only one that in my family down there, and I decided I hadn't talked to my dad for about a month or so, and I called him out of just hear a familiar voice, and he's up here in Seattle, and I said, well, I hope your week is going better than mine. And he said,
says, well, he says, my wife died today. And I go, what time? He says, around noon. And I go, well, I'll be up there, about a day or two. I'll see you when I get up there. I found out when I got up there that she had actually died, just about the same time that my friend got hit in the head. And a few, not long after she died, my stepbrother's wife gave birth to a baby girl a few minutes after she died. About, 1 or 2 floors above her in the same hospital. And, and then I was the one that called my father. And I don't know. To me, it was just kind of a
Strange time.
very strange.
Thank you for the call. Well, I don't know if that's exactly a ghost story, but I've heard similar things from other people. That is, there are certain times in our life